Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to our first episode after our Easter break of the Equity Market Update with Irfan Khan and Joseph DiVirgilio.
And
Welcome
what
back.
investors must know this week. Yes, so welcome back to. We are coming back. We were gone for last Sunday. There was Easter. We didn't think that we were going to get that much attention on that day, so we figured we'd take it off.
Sure do.
Yeah. So yeah, we want to talk about what happened with the markets last week, economic data, geopolitical events that are happening that are affecting portfolio investments around the globe. And we'll get to all that. But first, we start, as usual, with the statistic of the week. You know which one that is. If
Yeah, but Joseph, we haven't been on for 2 weeks, so I think people might have forgotten who you are and what you do, and then maybe what I do and who I am.
That's true. I'm not
So
that impressed. I'm a 25-year veteran of Wall Street, hedge fund manager, launched the very first sustainability-focused hedge fund back in 2004. And here I am trying to give advice I'm discussing my portfolio and giving insight on what's going on with the markets in general, so that I can just clear up the noise and focus on the big picture, because people lose track of the big picture very, very often, very easily, when it comes to headline news and that occur within the geopolitical domain.
that's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah, and I'm Irfan Khan, and I'm Joe's partner in crime and investor, and I have the pleasure of being your co-host every weekend.
That's true. What
So, with
statistical?
all that said and done, let's get to the statistic of the week. This is always very entertaining, let's say. So, listen to this. So, we're talking about something that happened 46 years ago. So, in 1980, both the Dow Jones and an ounce of gold were priced at roughly $800. Since then, gold has risen not 10, 20%, 1,400%, 1,400%. Actually, what's the estimate for the
Oh, well, the
uh,
S&P 500 did not go up at 1,400% since
no,
1980. But
yes.
the thing is, you have to, especially when you adjust it for inflation. But this goes back to what we say every single week, that diversification is key. Being diversified is key. Having 1 or 2% of your portfolio in gold-related ETF, or even physical gold for that matter, it's just not convenient to have physical gold, because it's just, you have to store it, and just by yourself, like GLD, the biggest gold ETF there is out there. 1, maybe 2% of your portfolio in gold. Always, it's a good hedge against inflation.
But
It
Joe, why don't we just put all our money into gold? It just in 46 years it goes up
doesn't
1,400%.
work that way. It is true that gold has a 2,000-year history of prices going up, but you never know. It's still, never put all your eggs in one basket. Full stop.
I was going to say, you're saying it's not a good idea to do that? Oh,
No,
okay,
I wouldn't.
fine.
I wouldn't. Also because I'm interested in putting my money into stocks that I can make a valuation on and understand their business, and for good causes. For example, we're going to talk about a stock today that kind of relates to another stock that I have in my portfolio, which is doing something good for the greater good. And so I want to be part of that too. I don't want to just have gold in my portfolio. Also because, again, just having a precious metal as your diversified portfolio, I don't think it will work.
My goodness, but our portfolio has been taking a hammering the last few
Yes,
weeks.
well, because we've been in the wrong sectors in this economic cycle, and thanks to what's going on geopolitically. But we'll get to that, because it doesn't make a lot of sense, and that's the reason why I think that our sectors and software technology, AI, and some other communications, some of these stocks are bound to rebound very fast and very hard, because they're not so affected by.
But not very soon.
Well, thank the buffoon that's in the White House, but the thing is, they're not inflation sensitive. right? So software, but it's not inflation sensitive. I know that some of the software stocks have gotten hammered because of the fact that Anthropic and Google have been making noise about their AI systems that are potentially going to make some software companies obsolete. But we're not in that space. So a lot of these software companies that we own are being thrown away with the like the baby with the bathwater, right? So that's the situation. So equity weekly recap. So equity markets posted their best weekly performance since November for the week ending on April 10th. Major U.S. indices surged between 3 and 5%, fueled by a tentative ceasefire in the Middle East that led to a sharp reversal in oil prices, which we just learned today that J.D. Vance flying back to Washington with his tail in between his legs because they have gotten nowhere because Iran wants.
That's not the way he put it, right?
Iran doesn't apparently Iran doesn't want to give up their ability to enrich uranium, and I think that's the situation. Well, look, Washington is always going to spin it their way, and we're going to get
everybody always spins it their own way.
We're going to get a knee-jerk reaction from Washington. They're going to say something about it. Markets probably tomorrow are going to drop again. This is a crisis that was made by he created this. No one asked for it. His own intelligence was saying that Iran was nowhere close to being a threat to the United States or nowhere near the vicinity of obtaining a nuclear weapon. So, like I said to you, like I said it multiple times, this is Netanyahu's doing, and Trump needed a distraction from the Epstein files. And 3 days ago, we have Melania Trump coming out preventively trying to get ahead of something that's about to break. Some story saying I have nothing to do with him. In spite of pictures and emails showing otherwise, I don't know who he was. I wasn't his friend. I don't get involved in that, but anyways. So the Nasdaq was up 4.7%. Imagine S&P 500 3.6, and again the best performing index was the Russell 2000. The Russell 2000 up 4%. The Nasdaq was up 7%, but this better than expected is the Russell 2000. That might be in line with the fact that the dollar is strengthening, and that usually helps.
I mean, the Nasdaq went up 4.7%.
4.7%, correct. The S&P 3.6 and 4% was the Russell 2000. And the Russell 2000 is a 2000. It's an index composed by the 2000 small caps. That's a market cap between 300 million and 1.8 billion.
So as we said, this signals broader participation.
But that's because somebody needs some good news here somewhere, and we didn't get, and it would have been a better, had we not had all this, geopolitical dynamics in play, we would have had even a better week because we had worse than expected. We had a better than expected print on unemployment, but we had a revision downwards to 0.5%. The fourth quarter GDP was revised down to 0.5%. So that would likely inspire the Fed to cut rates. But now we have, the situation with the oil and inflation going up, and that was the other thing. We had a consumer price index that rose to 3.3%. But it's making it even more difficult for the Fed to do anything at this point. So they're going to just stay in standby mode until something gets resolved in the Middle East, and then after that. Now I think that Wall Street is expecting at least one cut this year, a 25 beeps cut. But I got to tell you, but with all the damage that has been done, I don't see the Fed moving at all. I mean, you'd have to figure out, first of all, when is oil going to come back online? It may take months, if not years, because a lot of the infrastructure has been destroyed around there thanks to Iranians' drones.
I was thinking this is going to have Ripple effects.
Oh, and everything. Like we talked about, we were the first to talk about potential stagflation. We talked about how the food industry was going to be affected because of fertilizers coming out of the area, the region. This is going to, the ripple effects of this are going to be felt until 2027, if not longer. So now markets trade, on a forward-looking basis. So that means markets will still not be affected. They'll actually look forward to things getting better in the future, and so that might push the markets up. But we consumers, us, we're going to feel this for a very long
This
time.
is worse than 2008, 2009 crisis, right? Or even worse than
Oh,
also worse than maybe a COVID crisis, right?
I mean, I would say COVID was a disaster for 1 month for the markets,
Mm,
like that March 2020, March and April, and then
mm,
boom, was it May or June? We were already up again. The subprime mortgage crisis and banking crisis in 2008 was pretty bad because the markets were down 28, 30%. That
yeah.
was big. And here we're talking about one or two sectors, three sectors. We're not talking about the broad market, but it can develop into something similar to 2008 for sure. It could, and so let's just hope that I was thinking this, and this guy Trump has been really a lot more reckless recently. I'm wondering if he
Mm.
realizes that because he lost all his supporters, he lost the independents. The polls are showing him at 32% approval.
And besides, he lashed out like never
Not only
before
that, not only that,
at Tucker Carlson and what was it,
but
Megyn Kelly and a few others, right? So
yeah,
like
but
you would never expect
that's
that.
after. That's after. But he lost his support, polls at 32%, which is the lowest in history for a president. He screwed up the economy last year with tariffs. Realizes that he has no more support.
Mm.
My hunch is that perhaps because of course he doesn't want to be defeated or be the loser. He's a failure. I mean, of course,
At
but
the midterm elections, we got
But
7 months
going
to
out
go.
there saying to the Iranians, open the fucking strait, you poor bastards. I'm going to blow you up. Civilization is going to be destroyed forever, never to come back. This is behavior of a person who's seeking a way out of everything. Like, I fucked it
Mm.
all up, but I can't quit myself. I need somebody to push me out so I can blame them for pushing me out. Then I get J.D. Vance, who becomes president, to pardon me for my federal crimes. And then we shall see what happens with the state crimes that he had committed or that he was indicted for, that he actually was found guilty for. But so I think that's going to be, that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, a person who talks like that, you wanted a Nobel Peace Prize and you want to blow up an entire civilization, 6,000-year-old civilization. I mean, America, there weren't even monkeys yet. While the Persians were already conquering, half of Eurasia. I mean, this is crazy. It's just crazy. It's
It
just.
is. It's just crazy.
This is not normal behavior. Anyway, so one other thing I want to talk about was the petrodollar, because we have one reader that actually one of our viewers, sorry, put a comment on one of our videos a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I was actually just going towards that right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what the petrodollar. I mean, the risks of the petrodollar. The dollar would collapse. So what happens? The petroleum is traded in US dollars. And so are most commodities around the world. I mean, for the past 80 years, ever since the Second World War, America has shaped trade and agreements around the world to benefit them. And that's why America's had the best economy in recent memory. Now, the dollar is the world's reserve currency, and mainly because of the oil, right? Because oil is traded in dollars. Now, there are other future contracts and products, instruments that you can buy in other denomination. For example, euro oil prices are denominated in rubles. There's Chinese futures, but they're so illiquid that obviously you go through Brent and WTI to buy yourself oil. There are different
Yeah.
viscosity. There's different regions and different not only viscosity, purity, and whatever else that comes out of it. How much it has to be refined. But the moment you take uh, oil and people start trading it in a different currency, that's the end of the dollar. That will be
Mhm.
the end of the dollar. The dollar will sink so hard, and that will put a cap on American imperialism and dominance around the world on trade.
I mean, I'm not able to get too much into the specifics of this, but I do remember that some years ago, there were some people who tried to do that, and it did not end well for them.
Well, look, the BRICS countries are quietly experimenting with their currency called the unit, which includes some gold for stability, and it's diversified among the
And
member.
you would have to do that because otherwise, there's such a difference between so many of those economies that are included in the widened BRICS group
Right,
that,
look, and it's not such a bad idea to have a good alternative to the dollar because now we've just realized that.
no, no, I'm not debating that. I'm just saying that you would have to try and see a currency that is used across the BRICS members,
Other than the
seeing that
dollar.
there is such a difference. Like, think about the Chinese economy, the strength of the Chinese economy compared to the weaknesses of the South African, or I think even Argentina joined the BRICS. So, you have quite a few extremes here,
No, no,
So
but see,
having one currency for all of them
it's just like the
might,
dollar is. And,
you
now we've seen that one idiot in the White House can really destroy not only the US economy, but the world's economy. And people are looking at the United States and saying, you know what? This has become too unpredictable. We want predictability. Investors want some predictability. They want calm. They don't need
yeah.
this shit up and down every fucking day. They need stability. They need maturity. Somebody who's an adult, and this is not an adult playing. Stock of the week: 10x Genomics, which complements one of my other favorite stocks. Although I'm down 35% on it since I bought it. That's Tempus AI because it's
I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh because otherwise the alternative will be to cry. So,
yeah,
um,
well, it happens. I'm holding on to it. I like the company. They're basically using AI to help cancer patients detect and cure cancer at a much faster pace than with the regular diagnostics. And 10x Genomics doesn't uses AI, but instead of developing databases and ways like Tempus AI is doing, 10x Genomics, which ticker is TXG, is working at the genomics level. They're actually working on, with molecules and genomes, and not just AI and building databases like Tempus is doing. So I think they complement each other. My mom died of pancreatic cancer in 2009. Ever since then,
well,
I've actually donated I would say a lot of money to cancer research foundations in the
mhm.
last decades or so. And I have this is kind of personal to me, and I would like to see progress for the greater good on these companies that are working on preventing and detecting diseases and cancer in a faster way. And so I have these two stocks in a portfolio. Hopefully Tempus will come back and should come back because it's solid. They're not correlated to one another, or maybe just a little bit. They're not so correlated to one another. In fact, Tempus is down 35%, 10x Genomics is up. So recently they've been inversely correlated, and so it's okay to have the two in a portfolio.
Mhm.
Don't take my advice. Anybody out there who's listening to me, please do not take any of my advice. This is not investment
Consult your personal financial
advisor.
uh, advisor.
Yeah, this is my portfolio. I discuss what I like. Don't go out there and just buy it because I said so. I'm a hedge fund manager. I can be wrong. Okay, lots of us have been wrong, and we're not infallible. So talk to your financial advisor for anything, any investment you make in your portfolio. This is just mine and each fund's portfolio that we're discussing because we're on it every day, trading and looking for new opportunities. So that's the end of it.
Mhm. Very well. I think we've summed it up pretty well.
Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe, comment, share, and like the video. That would help us a lot. We're starting now. It's a couple of months that we started this channel. We would like to make sure that we provide some value.
And
And
I'd like to add, yes, as you said, Joseph, we've only had this channel up for a few months now, since sort of the end of last year. We starting to see that our viewership numbers are starting to slowly increase,
yeah,
which is great news. We didn't expect it to just jump up all of a sudden. That would not
organic
be
growth takes time, so we know
organic,
that.
exactly. That would not be something, sort of normal for us to expect that. It's great to see that we have people who are starting to comment. So as we just did today, we just took the time to comment on or
Reply on the comment.
reply on the comment that was posed to us on the YouTube chat on the YouTube channel last week or 2 weeks ago. So, for all intents and purposes, by all means, please, if you have any questions, if there's anything you would like to discuss, uh, please take this opportunity and shoot it. So tell us what you'd like us to dive in on. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's Sunday. I'm having a hard time now putting words together.
Yeah, it's been a crazy weekend.
My brain has kind of gone into sort of relax mode. So
Even for me, it's been kind of raining
yeah.
outside, so it's
Anyway,
a depressing day. We'll see each other next week, and I hope
hopefully,
everybody has a
yes.
great week ahead.
Yeah, let's try and not get all these world events to affect us too much.
Absolutely. Be safe out there.
Take care. Bye.